Okay, so this is my first Blue Apron kit meal. I tried to make a video earlier of the unboxing, but I shut off the recording halfway through. So we'll see how the preparation of the meal goes. No, let's start with this. Okay, so in the meal kit, here is the meal description, etc. So tonight we are going to make seared salmon and lehbleh with freaky zucchini and dates. And little description of it. Here's what it should look like. And here's a picture of the ingredients that came in the box. And in case you were wondering what lehbleh is, the lehbleh cheese, did you know lehbleh is a soft cheese made by straining and salting yogurt? Sounds like Greek yogurt to me. Here are the lemons that came in the box. We will only be using one of them tonight. Now they look like they were picked green to me, but when I looked carefully at the sheet here, it says it's a pink lemon, and it does show that it has some green stripes on it, so I think this is a good proper lemon. The zucchini I'm using tonight is not the one that was sent to me, which looks considerably better, but one that I've had in the refrigerator and needs to be used. It is pretty much the same size, and when it was fresh was in the same condition. It's got a little squishiness to it, and the dish may suffer from it, but I think it's perfectly usable. On the back here is the instructions, and I do kind of like the way they are set up. So it starts off saying, cook this stuff, cook the freaky. I think the naming of this dish is pretentious, right? So I don't know, lehbleh, freaky zucchini. Well, the freaky is basically cracked wheat. It says, start that boiling and then do the other stuff while it's boiling. And it has you prep the ingredients before going on. So I think the order of cooking is done. I think their kitchen is probably pretty good at working stuff out. Let's get a look at some of the other ingredients. Well, let's go over to the refrigerator and get our little seared salmon knickknacks. All right. So here's our ingredients basket, and in it we have the lehbleh, and the dates. Here is the salmon, which I've taken out and seasoned one side of. I've taken it out of the package. You can see it's a good size piece of fish, big enough for two, although we're gonna have to split it like this away, which is kind of, as you can see, it's like thicker on one side than the other, and it's gonna be a little tricky. They sent us an entire head of garlic. The recipe tonight calls for 2 pieces, so that's going to be interesting. All right, so let's get our water up to a boil. Here's the freaky right here. So let's read what we got going here. Heat medium. Let's prop this up a little bit. Heat medium pot of salted water boiling hot. Once boiling, add the freaky, cook 24 to 26 minutes. Now, I am accustomed to boiling my starches in salted water, so this move is completely familiar to me. Now it's interesting that the next step is drain thoroughly, return to the pot, and keep warm. But these other steps are actually meant to take place while this boiling is going on. So I got the water warming, but it's going to take a minute to come to a boil. Let us set the timer to let's say 25 minutes. All right, so I should probably get a spoon to stir the boiling water with. I can hear it coming to a boil. That is the only burner that is on so far. Let's put a little... This, as you can see, my stove is an electric stove. I'll turn this burner on that you can see. But you can see the one under the pot is lighting up, and then this one will be getting hot momentarily. So radiant heat coming up through a glass top. Very easy to keep clean, but a real pain in the ass for cooking because it takes so much time for the heat to get through the glass and into your pot. Okay, so our water is beginning to boil. We'll take the lid off here, and the instructions do call for the freaky to boil uncovered, so I guess we'll just leave that off. Add it to the pot there, and it has now stopped boiling. We've probably dropped the water temperature a little bit, but that'll be okay. It is pretty much at boiling temperature, and I'm going to turn the burner down so that it doesn't just boil all over and should simmer nicely. We'll try to keep an eye on that to make sure it doesn't boil over. All right, so that's one step one checked off the list. All right, so moving on to prep the ingredients. Wash and dry the fresh produce. Using a peeler, remove the rind from the lemon, avoid the whitey pith. Mince the rind and get 2 teaspoons of zest, quarter and de-seed the lemon. This is the lemon. Rather than peeling, I will be using my microplaner. Let me pat it dry here and see what we get here. Okay, so this is just a very good method for getting off rind without getting into the pith. I like the microplaner. Just looking at the spots on this pink lemon that still have rind. Okay, that's getting there. That's not bad. And here is what the zested lemon looks like. Let me, now it says to quarter and de-seed, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it into half. Right, and you can see I cut through a seed there. I can pull that one out. And the lemon does appear pink in color. Trying to get a good view. Okay, so we got 2 halves, and I have my juicer here, which we will use to juice and de-seed with. Take a look at the lemon zest that I have here. That is, okay, that's the lemon zest. And this is the lemon. Okay, cooking with one hand is going to be difficult. All right, so next step. Peeler, slice the zucchini lengthwise and then cut into 1/4 inch thick pieces. All right, so the zucchini, we will cut the ends off All right, now let me read that. Using halve the zucchini lengthwise, and then cut into 1/4-inch pieces. I think that's going to be a good idea. All right, so 1/4-inch, 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 nice thick 1/4-inch. Okay, this piece right here, that's too thin. Okay, so we'll take this cutting board here and move it out of the way. Put the garlic head over here. All right, so first, let's peel the garlic. Oh, we got an extra little mini clove in here. We will use it. It doesn't want to give up its peel. Okay, little small, tiny clove came with these. Oh, look, this clove's got several smaller cloves within it. So let me see if I can get the peel off of this one. Yeah. Alright, that worked for, yeah, that's okay. That is now okay. And over here on this one, peeling, 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 good. And I like to slice off the little hard bits on the end. Just take these very small pieces off, and we're going to smash and then rough chop. And we did not start the timer, so looks like we're about 5 minutes in. Oops, we turned the freaky down too much and stop simmering. So turn that back up, get it back to simmering. We'll try to stop that timer 5 minutes before it goes off. Okay, roughly chop the garlic. All right, so that's good for the garlic. Let's get the garlic off nice here. Although we're going to be adding all these ingredients together, so we should be fine. Now I'm going to do the dates. Now it says we need to pit the dates, so there's going to be pits in the dates. Here's the dates. They are a bit shriveled. They're not fresh dates, but they're not dried dates. I'm not sure. Dates when they're dried are still called dates. They're not like prunes or raisins. All right, so there's a date, and there's, oops, dropped all the way to the floor. That's a pit from the date there. Okay, so take that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the stem end off the date. Yep. And the date doesn't slice very neatly. It's really gummy. Really gummy. Wow. Alright, so we'll use the serrated part of the blade and for slicing it open, getting the pit out. I've got, let's see, 6 dates here, and I've got 2 of them pitted. This stem end seems to have broken off already, so that's good. More pits coming out. That's 3. Slice off the stem end and open up the date. There we go, that's 4. They have some interior here which has a little paper on it. I'm not going to try to get that out because it's all sticky. It would be really difficult to try to peel the inside of a date. And it doesn't say to do that, it says to take the pits out, so hopefully this material is perfectly edible. And this one also has had the stem end, or just didn't, when it got picked, the stem stayed with the tree, I think. All right, that's all our dates pitted, and now we're gonna chop. So first thing I'm gonna do, I've got them halfway sliced lengthwise already. I'm gonna finish that. Okay, that, and that. All right, so that's everybody that way. And let's just chop away here. I'm just picking up my knife and running it through the dates, most of which stick to the knife, but I keep on chopping, and that will push the ones that are stuck to the blade off. They're really gummy. So like semi dry. I'm gonna try a little piece of date there, and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not fresh. I've had fresh dates, which I really like. Once when I was in Alabama, I was able to pick dates off a tree and eat them. That was really good dates. If you can ever get freshly picked dates, they are juicy and delicious. But dried dates I do enjoy also figs. In fact, I think it was a fig tree. I think that's what I was talking about. One date it was a fig. So dates and figs, very similar to me. Figs, of course, have much smaller seeds, so you just eat the seeds like a strawberry, you know. It's got except they're on the inside there. All right, this is what I would consider pretty rough chopped. It's not quite down to chop, but I'm getting lots of little small bits of dates stuck to my blade. So here we see the chopped dates and garlic. And if we look at their food prep picture, I'd say it looks about the same. All right, so what's next? We're gonna make the lemon lehbleh. While it cooks in a bowl, combine the lehbleh with the juice of 2 lemon wedges, which was half a lemon, and drizzle with olive oil, seal with salt and pepper. Season. Let me get some containers here. How would this work? That would work fine. So I got myself a little bowl. Here is the lehbleh, right, which I will now open. Okay, and get a small spoon, and I'm going to juice half of the lemon. Okay. And it would seem that there are no more seeds in there. Okay, so I'm gonna hold back some of this juice because lemon juice is pretty strong. Take the lehbleh, put that in there. Okay. See if we can get it all out of the container here. Okay. Now the interesting thing is it says to mix this with a drizzle of olive oil. Let me read that again. Combine the lemon juice of 2 lemon wedges and drizzle with olive oil, seasoned with salt and pepper. So let's assume that the lehbleh has some emulsifiers in it. It seems to be taking in the lemon juice pretty well. I got some lumps in there, trying to stir out those lumps. And yeah, I took this out of the fridge, so it's probably still pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a taste. Pretty good, pretty good. There is some lemon in there, but I think it could handle it just a little bit more. I'm gonna put some more lemon juice in there, and that's stirred in very well. Now I'm gonna try to drizzle with. Oh, we better give it all the time on that. It's not simmering. All right, so I'll see how that comes out. This is my big fat finishing oil, which I use in no heat situations like this. So there's a drizzle. I consider a drizzle. It's probably a 1/4 teaspoon in this little, I don't even know, this is like not even half. I threw the label away. It might have said probably how many ounces, fluid ounces maybe. Now the oil is not, I am able to stir it in. It did kind of float and then stick to the sides of the container, so not really dissolving in, but as I stir, it's not separating, or at least it's broken up into tiny little microscopic beads or something. Let's give that a taste. I think you can take a little more oil. Okay. So there's maybe another 1/4 teaspoon, maybe not even. And we're stirring. And it's stirred in there pretty good. I want to get all the bits down there. And now I want to hit it with a little salt and pepper. And bring up the lid. I don't know if that's going to simmer well. Alright, so here's some salt. Alright. And some pepper. We'll finely grind this if we can. Now, that's as fine as we're going to get out of this one. Alright. And give that a nice stir. Stir. Get that salt and pepper all thoroughly mixed in there. And it's coming out very smooth now. And we'll give it a little taste. Very lemony. Very lemony. I think you could use just a dash more salt. And it's hard to tell with pepper. Pepper doesn't. It takes a while to give up its flavor. It's usually the fat. You get dissolves into flat. But if you're boiling, this of course is not going to boil. So you might actually taste the pepper as it hits your tongue. The little pieces of pepper. I can now see the pepper in there as little black flakes. So. Oh, very pleasant. I think that'll go on the salmon very nicely. Okay, so that's that. It says we got 12 minutes left on the lehbleh. I think we need at least 12 minutes. Once the freka has cooked about 15 minutes, pat the fish dry with paper towels. Transfer to a cutting board, skin side down, cut into 2 equal-sized pieces. Season with salt and pepper on both sides. Okay, so we will attempt to do that. Okay. All right, so let's pat the fish and see if we can get it dry. Now I already have, the sides need patting as well. I already have one side of the fish seasoned, which I did a while ago, and it says to do both sides, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think you're gonna get seasoning through the skin into the fish, but I am going to do it anyways because it says to. So here's salt going on the skin of the fish, and here's pepper going on the skin of the fish. And I bet this all falls right off on my cutting board since I've patted it dry as instructed. But nonetheless, I did season this side of the fish, which maybe we'll just hit a little more pepper, and maybe even a little more salt. Okay, that's enough. All right, now I'm going to try to cut this into two equal portions. Of course, one will be thinner than the other, and they're not going to cook the same, but let's give it a go here. Oh, we've got a little scale on there. All right, so that looks right to me. Okay. Let's see how we did. How I can tell that the one is almost twice as big as the other. But this is the fatter one, so let's see. I have a digital scale, and we'll put the thing in there. So tear. All right. So this is 4.75 ounces, which is a good size for a portion. And this is 4.89 ounces, so not bad at all for having to cut an asymmetrical piece of fish into two portions. And I got the fat one slightly smaller than the thin one, which I also intended to do. Yeah, I meant to do that, that's right. All right, we're boiling here. This fruit is boiling, and it does look like it's puffing up some. So there we go. That's on the boil. All right, let's get our pan up to temp here. Our fishing pan. So what does it say about that? In a medium pan, non-stick if you have, heat 2 teaspoons of olive oil on medium until hot. Add the seasoned fish, skin sides down. Loosely cover pan with aluminum foil. Cook 4 to 5 minutes on first side or until lightly brown. Flip and cook another 3 to 4 minutes or until lightly browned and cook through. Leave any browning bits in the pan, transfer to a plate, cover with aluminum foil to keep warm. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to do all of that. Okay, so here is the pan. We're going to add a little olive oil to it. Get that all swished around. Okay. And we'll turn the pan temp down, and let's put this piece of fish in. Okay, that piece of fish is sizzling nicely. I want one of these pieces of fish to be more done than the other, so we're going to let that cook for just a minute before we add the second piece of fish, which is over here. It's a beautiful piece of fish. I threw the packaging away before I started this video, but I did read that it was farm raised, or I forget the phrasing they used, but it was from a fisheries. Yeah, it's from our fisheries. Anchor, I believe was the brand name. It's a nice looking piece of fish. I don't mind farm raised salmon at all. sockeye. For wild-caught salmon, if it's sockeye, the intensity of the flavor I find to be pleasant. But the nice thing about farm-raised salmon, full of delicious fat, and fat tastes like delicious. So it should be a very nice piece of fish. We can see that it is starting to cook up on that one side. So I'm going to put this other one on here, and I'm just going to kind of set the lid on it like that and turn the temp down a bit while it cooks. All right. Okay, so the fish has been cooking a few minutes. You can see it's pretty good. Maybe needs just another minute. Put the lid back on a minute. Not all the way, let the steam escape. So we're gonna try to flip this fish one-handed so you can see. I'm going to turn the pan temperature up, see if we can get good, nice sear on the top side of this fish. Hopefully it'll sear up nice, and also we won't cover it while it's cooking on the top side. Okay, so yeah, all right. I think we're in good shape here. Let's fish stuck. I'm gonna have to set it down. All right. That fish flip. And that fish flip. Oh crap. All right. So I don't know how much of that we got, but here's the fish flipped over. You can see I jammed some of the skin loose on this piece. It's a nice crispy skin though. And we're always getting nice and crispy on that side. I am going to turn the pan temp down now and let it take its last minute there. So very little remains to be done. Yeah, it does need a couple of minutes. I'm going to drain the freaky, and I'll come back after that. Okay, so there's the freaky. It's been drained and is returned to the pot. Now we're going to take this fish out and put it on a plate. And oh, nice, beautiful browning there. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Oh, yeah, not quite as seared on that one, which is too bad. I wanted that one to get a little more done. And what I'm going to do, rather than cover with aluminum foil, I've got the toaster oven set to 200 degrees or 150 degrees, set on warm. So we'll just pop that in there. That way we don't have to cover it up. We're going to leave the brown bits and oil in the pan here. And let's go back and double check this recipe. Right, so to the pan of reserve fond, that says brown bits, right? Add zucchini in an even layer, season with salt and pepper. If the pan is dry, drizzle olive oil. We've got plenty of olive oil in there. Cook on medium-high without stirring for 3 to 4 minutes or until browned and slightly softened. Add the garlic, more salt and pepper. They're calling for salt and pepper twice here. I'm not sure about that. Cook, stirring frequently 1 to 2 minutes until softened, and turn off the heat. Then you put everything except the fish in with the freaky, and there we go. So let's get the zucchini. All right, now I got that lemon zest there, so I will. Yep. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. Excuse me a second. And we're back. Okay, so here is the zucchini. And we're going to get that to one even layer in the pan there. Okay, and let it cook for a few minutes on medium heat. Oh, we got some skin stuck to the pan. I said to leave those brown bits in the pan. I wanted it that way. Alright, so that's loose. Let's slide the zucchini around. Seems to be, I want the zucchini to pick up the flavor of that fish that was fried in here. And the recipe definitely calls for you to cook the zucchini in the pan with the fish. So picking up some of the fish flavor apparently is part of the dish. Okay. All right. So this just cooks for a little while. Oh, okay. So we are going to put the garlic in and cook for 1 to 2 minutes more. So let's give the zucchini a little toss. And see if we can get it back down to an even layer. And I think I'll toss that once more or twice more maybe while it cooks before I add the garlic. Okay, so here we have the garlic now in the pan, and we're going to give this just a minute. Oh, sorry, not watching what I'm doing here. Oh, and it smells like garlic in a pan of olive oil. It's a wonderful, wonderful smell. Got it stirring here, and I think I'm going to go back to just giving it a toss. Yep, that's looking pretty good. Alright, I'm going to kill the heat on my burner here. Yeah, the zucchini seems pretty soft, brown, nicely done. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is add it to the fricka. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to... Okay, so there we have the fricka with the lemon zest and the zucchini and the dates in there, and we're just going to give it a nice stir. Okay. And it would really stir better with 2 hands. And it calls for more lemon juice. It smells pretty lemony. I'm going to start. Mary is home, so we're going to be eating pretty soon.